So please come to your perfect place on your seat, on your mat. And let's practice together today, just like we often do. Arriving in this perfect moment, just the way it is, with all the ups and downs and ins and outs. It is this moment. And as you sit on your mat, if you're anything like I am, and I'm imagining that all humans have certain similarities, just taking this moment to actually feel the surface that you're sitting upon, feeling the sits bones and the legs as they rest on this mat or the earth or the floor, whatever you're sitting upon. Feeling the internal being as you close your eyes. Let go of all of that that's going on outside and open into the space of your own being, the inner space. And again, if you're anything like me, you begin to feel your breath, your spine, your belly, your chest, your jaw. And because of the focus that I'm feeling, I want to share with you a sense of rootedness through the sits bones. As you inhale, you can envision roots growing out of your sits bones and a major taproot extending from your tailbone down. And feeling this enlivening all the way up the spine, lifting and extending out the crown of your head, feeling connected to the expanse of all that is above, suspended in between heaven and earth. We as humans walk and sit and practice whatever it is we do. So please join with me in connecting to your breath, the inhalation and the exhalation. Continue to feel rooted and planted as you breathe long breaths in, slowing the breath down, and longer breaths out. Allowing the shoulders to relax and release, soften, let go. Connect with the moment that is right here, right now. And as you feel perhaps more spacious within, look into that spaciousness. Perhaps there's an intention to guide you through your practice this morning. Connecting with that intention, let's take some moments to send out metta to all beings. We'll practice for all beings, and please remember, as I will, this includes you. And if it feels more appropriate to practice for yourself or for someone specific, please do. Whatever it is that feels right. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness for themselves as well as for others. May all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. May all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May we all be safe and protected. And may we all be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness for ourselves as well as for others. And may we live and practice with ease and grace. Let's bring our palms together in front of the heart, thumbs right up against the sternum, in front of the heart. We'll chant one Om, taking a couple of cleansing breaths first. Deep breath in, and let it go. Another breath in. Breathe it out any way you like. And inhale. Let's begin. And releasing your hands to your legs or your lap. Let your eyelids lift and the clarity of vision return with ease. Let's come onto our backs. We'll practice pelvic clock, rotating and extending, contracting the spine. Coming into constructive rest pose. Bring your feet to the mat, hip width distance apart, and take this moment to draw your shoulder blades under your back. And then lift your hips up and lengthen your spine. Setting your hips back down. You can tip your tailbone and draw your chin towards your chest, lifting the waist up from the mat, and then drawing your waist towards the mat. Tip the tailbone up and the chin reaches towards the sky. Please practice 10 like that. Take it very slow, allowing the fascia to respond with your breath. Letting the whole spine move. Nice and slow with the breath. Softening through the shoulders. Feeling the connection from the tailbone all the way up the spine, all the way up through the crown of your head. Everything's connected. And once you've completed 10, come back to neutral. Notice where your lower back is. If your waistline or lower back continues to lift up, do your best to draw it back down towards the mat. And then noticing both sides of your pelvis will rock from, if this were a clock, from 9 to 3 or 3 to 9, your choice, how you envision the clock on your pelvis. So one side to the other from the pelvis. Initiate the movements in your hips rather than in your knees or legs, which will move. Of course, they're attached. We'll take 10 of these, nice and slow, rocking back and forth. Again, speaking to the shoulders, you can relax. Let go. This is about the hips, not the shoulders. Feel into the soles of your feet, letting them support. Stay long through the neck, soft through the jaw and the shoulders. And after you've completed 10 to each side, come back to neutral, and then once again, thinking of the pelvis as a clock. Let's all imagine that 6 o'clock is at the tailbone and 12 o'clock is up towards the top of the pelvic bone, the top of the sacrum. We'll rotate all the way around, getting all of the numbers on the clock. First clockwise, and then counterclockwise or the other way. It doesn't matter, so long as we do 5 on both sides. Rotating all the way around and initiating the movement in the pelvis, in the hips. And then once you've completed flat 5 one way, please go the other direction. And again, notice your jaw, notice the shoulders, and let them soften and relax. Initiating from the hips. And once you've completed 5 on both sides, come back to neutral. Notice your lower back and draw it towards the mat. Lengthen through the tailbone. And on an inhalation, draw the knees one at a time towards the chest in Apanasana. Flexing your feet, keeping the tailbone drawn down towards the mat. And notice your neck. Lengthen the back of your neck. Take a few breaths here. Give it time to let the thigh bones naturally reach down towards your chest. Once they feel as though they've completed their journey, lower your left knee to the mat and hug the right knee in about 35 to 40%, something like that. Again, relax the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Take a breath in, and on the exhalation, slide your left heel along the mat, reaching out through the sole of that foot. Press it out. Keep pressing it out. Press out through the big toe pad and draw both baby toes towards their shoulders. Speaking of the shoulders, relax the shoulders. Relax the neck. If it feels appropriate in today's practice, lift your extended leg an inch or two up off the mat. Press, press, press out the ball of the foot, the whole sole of the foot. And again, if it feels good, you can rotate from the head of the thigh bone, turning the whole leg all the way through the foot externally. If this feels good in your body, take a couple breaths here. You're free to, of course, leave your leg laying on the mat, extending through the sole of the foot. And then if you've rotated out, please bring it back to neutral. If, like me, you may have lifted your leg a foot off the mat or more, lower it to just a couple inches. And then in or rotate, do your best to do so from the head of the thigh bone, reaching long through the sole of the foot. Stay for a couple of breaths, relaxing the shoulders, the neck, and the face. And then return your leg and your foot back to neutral. Take a breath here, and then lower the leg to the mat. And just notice if there's any change. And if there is, that's wonderful. And if there isn't, that's wonderful. There's no expectation as to the results. Just notice what is. Take a deep breath here. Let it go. And then you can take your right hand to your right foot or ankle or shin for half happy baby, if that feels good in your body. Keep reaching out through the soles of both feet and draw your right knee down towards the earth. I realize I'm not mirroring you right now, so just mentioning that. Normally I would be calling this my left leg being bent and my right leg being extended. Take a couple more breaths here. Lower back, releasing perhaps. And then back to hugging the knee. Lengthening the neck and relaxing the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release your leg and let it lengthen and find its way all the way down the mat, relaxing both legs and just noticing whatever is so in your body. Is one side of your body feeling different than the other? Just see what's there before we go on. Although we're working with the lower back and the hips, we're also working with the psoas, which is that deep internal muscle that reaches all the way from your inner thigh bone at the head of the thigh bone all the way up to the bottom ribs along the spine. Please bring both feet back to the mat and lengthen your hips, lengthen your tailbone, draw your lower back towards the mat, and on an inhalation, hug your left leg, your left knee in. Flex the foot, again, 35-40% muscle energy. Flexing the foot, toes to the sky. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhalation, slide your right leg all the way down, lengthening it, toes to the sky, pressing out through the sole of that foot and the big toe pad. Draw both baby toes towards their shoulders. Notice your neck. Relax the shoulders and lengthen the neck. Relax the jaw. Hug it in and press it out. And then if it feels good, we'll do as we did on the other side, or you can stay just where you are, lifting the right leg just an inch or two up off the mat. Press out through the big toe pad. Draw the baby toe towards its shoulder, and then externally rotate from the head of the thigh bone. Rotating out, pressing through the soles of both feet and relaxing the shoulders. Notice where the leg is. Did it travel up? If so, lower it down, let it just hover over the mat, and then bring the whole leg back to neutral. And an internal rotation from the head of the thigh bone all the way down. Relax the shoulders, the neck and the face. And then please bring your leg back to neutral. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower the leg down to the mat and just notice again what occurs in your body. Is there a release? Take a couple breaths here. And then extending your left hand, find your foot or your ankle or shin, wherever your hand might reach, and draw it into half happy baby. Draw the knee down towards the earth. Keep pressing out through the big toe pad of your extended leg foot. And relax those shoulders. Few breaths here. Good, and then please bring your knee back to your chest, hug it in. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release your left leg and send it all the way down the mat. And again, just notice for a few breaths what is going on in your body. Any changes or not. Perfect. Please bring both feet back to the mat and let's practice a few core exercises, core stabilizations, or core yogi crunches. We'll bring our elbow or our hands behind our heads, elbows out to the side, and do your best to keep your neck long and your gaze towards the sky so your chin doesn't draw down towards your throat or your sternum, but the neck stays nice and long and extended. And then from here, lift your feet up off the mat so your knees are in a 90-degree angle. And we'll simply take a breath here and blow it out through a straw, like you're blowing through a straw. So you purse your lips and let the air exit slowly, or you can do an S breath, whatever feels best for you. Take a deep breath as you're laying on the mat. And then exhale as you lift the head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat, drawing up using your abdominal muscles. And then inhale, lower down. Let's do 15 of those. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower the feet to the mat. Take a few breaths here. You can bring your hands to your tummy if you like. Couple breaths. You're doing great. Okay, and then moving on, hands come behind the head once again. And this yogi crunch is supposed to be the very best. It's the lift, lift, lower, lower. I love this one. I really feel it in my abs after practicing. So 15 of these, please. So it's an inhale down, exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, like that. Feel those abs working. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, we did it. I think I kept the count. Wonderful. And then one more, and I love this one too. And you can use a block if you like, or simply take your hands out and lift to the side. Excuse me, take your hands out to the side, extend your arms out. And if you place a block between your palms, that might be helpful. Lift your shoulders up off the mat. And then bring your knees up. Inhale. What am I doing here? Let's see. Up. Oh, I know. I forgot what I was doing. So we bring our knees to that 90-90. Take a breath in to extend the opposite leg. So if our arms are reaching to the left, it's the right leg comes up, and then carve the heel through the air on the exhalation and bring the knee back in. So it's inhale, exhale, lower, bring it in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lower, exhale, lower. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll take it to the other side, feeling those obliques. Strength through the core strength and back strength, all is one. Everything's connected. Taking the arms to the other side. For me, this is my right side. Lifting your knees into a 90-90 and lifting the shoulders best you can up off the mat. And I know you've got this. Take a breath in to extend the leg. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, exhale, carve through the air with your heel. Inhaling, exhaling. That's 3, 4, 5. Long neck. 6. I think this is 8. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. Very good. Bravo. Take a few breaths. If you want to hug your knees in, that's perfect. Take a few breaths here, feeling those abs. And then rolling to either side. Please use your arms and hands to press up. And then bring a blanket with you to your mat. And take a seat. And a little more for the core and the back. Staying grounded through the sits bones, groundedness. Feeling those sits bones and the soles of your feet on the mat. We'll practice Navasana. We'll start with Navasana prep, placing those second toes right along this long line from the hips all the way down, hip width distance apart. Bring your hands behind your thighs and lift your shoulders, lift your heart. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, grow the spine long. Draw the belly in, and then take a breath in. And as you exhale, hinge at the hip and stay long through the spine, extending over your thighs. And if it feels good, wrap your arms around your thighs. Feel the back expand. Maybe you feel that expansion along the back of your pelvis, as I do. Breathing into the space where the sacrum lives, keeping the spine long, the shoulder blades away from the ears. Take a breath in and lengthen back up. Another breath in, come back to a long spine, draw the belly in, and then extend long again over the legs. Breathe into the back body. Inhale, come back up. Draw the shoulders down the back, and then bringing your toes or your heels or your complete soles of your feet to the mat, whatever works best in your body. Lean back. You can stay right here, hugging the backs of your thighs. Lift your heart, draw your shoulder blades onto your back. You can stay right here or lift your arms out in front. Extend your fingertips and turn your palms to the sky. Find stability through the sits bones, and maybe you lift your legs. You can extend your legs I'm not there yet. Stay here, keep lifting the heart, lengthening the spine. Couple more breaths. And then lower down, come back up. Take a couple breaths right here. We'll take it one more time. Ground into those sits bones. Feel stable and strong. Bring your hands behind your thighs, and wherever it feels best to place your feet, please do. Start by lifting your heart and drawing the shoulder blades towards one another on the back, and then draw the belly in. And again, option to lift the arms. Staying right here if you like, or perhaps lifting the legs. Lengthening the spine, long spine through the crown of the head. Inhale, exhale, lower down, come back up. Lengthen the legs away from you, press out through the soles of your feet. Find those sits bones, root through them. Envision those roots drawing down into the earth. And on an inhalation, bring your right heel up to your right sits bone best you can, extending long through your extended leg. Lift your heart, extend the spine. Inhale, send your left arm out in front, reach long through the fingertips, and then hug the arm bone, the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Keep lifting your heart. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, twist, taking your right fingertips behind you. Press out through the sole of your extended leg foot. Lift through the crown of your head and just notice how it feels in your body. Perhaps closing your eyes and letting the inner body be present or become present with the inner body. Take a breath here to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, come back to neutral. Take your right knee out to the side. Sit up nice and tall, Janu Sirsasana. Taking your right arm out behind you, take it all the way around and to the outside of your extended leg. Take your left hand behind you, press it into the mat. You can stay right here wherever you've landed. Or you can take a breath in and with a long spine, hinge at the hip and just see where your body takes you on this journey of yoga, the yoga journey. Lengthening the spine. Feel those roots at the sits bones. Press out through the big toe pad of your extended leg foot, drawing the belly in. And on your next inhalation, come back up. Take your hand to your knee, help your knee back up, and extend the leg out in front. If it feels best for you, give your legs a nice shake. And then finding those sits bones, take a moment to root through those, pressing out through the soles of both feet, and on your next breath in, draw your left heel towards your left hip. Hug in as you extend long through your extended leg foot. Pressing out through that big toe pad, take a breath in, reach long, and then draw the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Notice your spine, your belly, your chest, your collarbones, your neck. Take a breath in, grow long, and as you exhale, twist. The left fingertips come to the mat behind you. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Soften your face. Breathe. Keep extending through the sole of your extended leg foot, especially the big toe pad. Then take a breath in to grow the spine long. And as you exhale, return to center. Sit up tall and let your left leg come out, helping it out. And your sole of your foot can come to the inner thigh, or maybe you draw it in a little further, whatever is available in your body. Then taking your left arm up and around, bring it to the outside of your extended leg. Perfect. And on an inhalation, if it feels good, hinge at the hip, reaching long through the spine, and taking your right hand behind you to help by pressing into the mat just a bit. And see where you go. Keep energy, muscle energy through the extended leg, hugging the muscles to the bones. Keep pressing out through the sole of your foot. And do your best to keep the spine long and the collarbones broad. Good. A couple more breaths here. And on an inhalation, come up nice and slow and easy. And then finding your left knee, bring it up and extend that leg out in front. Maybe giving it a nice little shake if that feels good. And then once again, finding those sits bones, bring your feet together in a big open Baddha Konasana, that nice diamond shape. Draw the belly in, remember your core. Lift and lengthen through the back body as you draw the belly in. Shoulder blades come down onto the back body and down towards the hips as we take a breath in to lengthen, and then hinging at the hip, exhale, come forward. Draw the belly in and extend long. Do your best not to hunch, but stay long. Breathe into the stretch. So remembering that the legs are connected to the pelvis, which is almost an extension of the spine with some additional large bones and joints and functions. Take a breath in and come back up, staying nice and long and tall, lengthening all the way up. Another inhalation here, and we'll come forward again. Maybe as you come forward, your feet open up and your knees widen out. And if not, that's okay too. Do your best to stay broad through the collarbones and long through the spine. Breathing into those sensations. And then inhale, come up slow and long. Good. Let's take the hands behind you and find your way into froggy pose. And if you want to ribbit, you can, because nobody will hear you. I'm not going to, though. Do a little bit of hip movement. We'll move our hips from side to side and then widen the feet on your mat. Now you really are a froggy. And if you like to place a block under your hips, that is totally fine. And once you're here, If it's accessible, you can bring your hands into Anjali Mudra in front of you, elbows pressing into your thighs. And that can be really helpful if you're not using a block to help stabilize. Either way, breathe into your hips and enjoy your breath. Stay as broad as you're able through the collarbones, lifting and lengthening through the back body, all the way through the crown of your head. I didn't used to like Malasana, but I believe that it really helps to liberate the hips. It really helps the back to liberate the hips. The inner hip flexors as well as the outer hip flexors. Taking a couple more breaths here. Nice long spine. That looks wonderful. And then lower your hands to the mat. Press your hips up to the sky and heel toe your feet back together. You can reach around and move your blanket off the mat. And then placing your hands on the mat, bend your knees and step back into downward facing dog. From here, please pedal your legs nice and slow. Draw the belly in. Feel your spine as it lengthens, lifting the hips high up towards the sky. Pedaling the legs with the breath. And as you do, send your hips from side to side and take that time to stretch through the side body. Feel the stretch. Really give yourself this nice sensation of stretch. And then please meet me back in downward facing dog. Come on up to your toes. Lift your hips high, then send them back behind you as you lower your heels down towards the mat, and they don't have to touch. Take a few breaths here, and you can keep your knees micro bent or deeply bent or lengthened, whatever feels good in your practice. Draw the belly in. Let the head rest right in between the upper arms. And then from here, we'll press forward into plank. Draw the belly in. Send the tailbone towards the heels as you press out through the heels. Widen, broaden through the collarbones and the upper back. Strengthening the core and the back body. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, press back, downward facing dog, lifting the hips high. Stretch it out. Press those hips back. Inhale and come into plank once again. Lengthen those legs and press out through the heels. Draw the tailbone towards the heels. Breath in. And on the exhalation, press it back. Downward facing dog. Lifting the hips high. Draw the belly in. Inhale. And come forward again. Plank pose. Press out, long line from head to heels. And then lower your knees to the mat, bring your big toes together, And draw your sits bones towards your heels, drawing the inner groins in and back. Sit back into child's pose. As you arrive here in child's pose, draw the shoulder blades towards the hips and activate your muscles in your arms, hugging them to the bones. Lift the arm bones and the wrists off the mat. Breathe into the back body. A 3-part breath into the sacrum, then the kidneys, and the space of the heart. Bringing breath into the entire spinal areas. Take 3 of those. And then placing your hands under your shoulders, spread your fingers wide, press up. Bring your hands back to the mat in a nice long table pose, and we'll press back up into downward facing dog. Turn your toes under, lift the hips high to the sky, press out of the hands, lifting the hips and sending them back towards the back of the room, back of the mat. And then bend your knees, take a breath in, look towards your hands, and step up. Place your hands on your hips. Draw the belly in and lengthen the torso over the earth. Take a breath here, and on your exhalation, lift up. If you don't already have your blocks at the front of your mat, please bring them and place them there, either all the way up or down, however you like them. And then please come to stand in Tadasana. And with awareness for both grounding through the soles of your feet as well as your back body and your core, place your feet right under your hips. Close your eyes and feel the soles of your feet on the mat. If it feels appropriate in your practice, you can stay here with your eyes closed. Otherwise, please do open them. Make sure you're able to stay stable and balanced. And if it feels right, lift your toes. And feel all 4 corners of your feet. Lift your arches and connect. Connect with your feet. Feel all those tendons and little bones. There's so many little bones in your feet. Feel all of them as they work for you. And then lower your toes to the mat. Keep the arches active and press the feet away from each other isometrically. And notice how that energy moves all the way up through the inner thighs. Draw the belly in and send the tailbone towards the earth as you lift the heart. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. And feel mountain pose in your body. Feel grounded, stable, connected. Good. And then please go ahead and open your eyes if they were closed. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra, and we'll practice some sun salutations or variations thereof. We're really paying lots of attention to the spine today. So take a breath in, press hands together, draw the shoulder blades towards one another on the back, and then exhale, release. Keep the belly drawing in as you inhale and lift the fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. Find your blocks or the earth, whatever feels best. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come halfway up. Exhale, bow to the legs, Uttanasana. Lift the tailbone and the sits bones towards the sky. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bow and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow and fold. And then place your hands on the mat, bend your knees, and we'll step back into plank pose. Spread the fingers wide. Press out through the heels. Inhale here. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. Lift the hips high to the sky. Feel those collarbones, shoulder blades, ribs, side bodies, belly and hips. Inhale, back to plank pose. Broaden through the collarbones, activate the legs, press out through the heels. Draw the tailbone down towards the back of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Lift the hips high to the sky. Inhale back into plank. Press up through the toes. Bring the heels over the toes. Good. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Inhale, come back to plank pose. Feel the whole body move like a beautiful symphony. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale again, plank pose. Good. One more time. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, bend your knees, look to the front of your mat, and step up. Again, Uttanasana. Find your blocks or the mat. Take a breath in and take the arms out to the side. And on your next inhalation, root through your feet, rise up. Fingertips reach to the sky. Draw the belly in. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Couple breaths here. Let's take a wide stance on the mat. We'll practice Virabhadrasana 2 and reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. Spreading the feet nice and wide on the mat as appropriate in your practice. Turn your foot to parallel the long edges of the mat. Draw your belly in, hug the muscles to the bones in the legs, and send the tailbone down towards the earth. Feel grounded through the soles of your feet. Always feeling grounded, connected through the soles of the feet is a good place to start in standing poses. On an inhalation, send the arms out, reaching long through the fingertips, and as you exhale, bend your front leg. Press into the outer edge of your back foot and tuck your right hip under. Stay with your breath. That looks beautiful. Couple more breaths here. Make sure your knee is just over your ankle foot. And then flip your right palm to the sky and we'll reverse the warrior. And if you like to take the bind, do or not, whatever feels best as you practice. Breathe into your side body. Feel your legs, the soles of your feet. Expand through the ribs, ground through the feet. Inhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Reach long through the fingertips. Lift the heart, shoulder blades drawing towards one another on the back. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen and lower the arms, and we'll take the other side. Pivot your right foot so it's parallel to the short edges of the mat, and then pivot your left foot. Take a look, make sure that your feet are placed well. The heel of your left foot bisecting the arch of your right. Hug the muscles to the bones. Draw the belly in and let the tailbone naturally draw down. And then we'll take a breath in to send the arms out. Lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades towards one another on the back body. And as you exhale, come into the pose. Stack your knee right over the ankle foot. Lift your heart. Reach out through the fingertips. Press into the outer edge of your right foot and lifting that inner ankle. Active legs. Hug the muscles to the bones. And then flipping your left palm to the sky, come into your reverse warrior. Stable and strong, peaceful and happy. Breathe into that side body stretch. Inhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Extend long through the fingertips, draw the muscles to the bones in the arms. Inhale. Exhale, release the pose, lower the arms, lengthen the leg, lift the heart, and pivot your left foot. Good. And then you can heel toe your feet together and step into Tadasana and just feel your body. Feel your feet on the mat, the length in your spine, your breath, all those little tiny cells and other living organisms in the universe of your body, thriving on the prana, that energy, the life force energy you're releasing. Through this practice. We'll stay here for just a couple more breaths. And then please find your way to your seat on a mat with your blanket, please. And let's take a strap. Actually, let's take a strap and a block. We'll practice Dandasana and Paschimottanasana. I simply don't seem to be able to get away from these poses, both of these. These, to me, are very much a core part of practice because everything engages, as everything does in all poses, but we really can get into the core in Dandasana, here in staff pose, really drawing the belly in. You can stay here for 10 minutes and your core would really let you know what you're doing. It would say something to you, no doubt. Lifting your heart, drawing your shoulder blades onto your back body. And then with an internal rotation at the head of the thigh bones, we begin to engage through the legs and the pelvis. And as you inner rotate through the head of the thigh bones, do you begin to feel a lengthening through the spine as you make room for the sacrum to spread out and expand and lift and align? I know I do. And that translates all the way up through the crown of my head. I feel my neck lengthening, everything lifting, and the belly draws in just a little bit more. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, the jaw relaxed. Take a breath in and we'll come into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. We're going to hinge at the hips and stay long through the spine as you continue to inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones, walking your hands along your strap and just finding what's available right now. Keep that inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones, drawing the inner groins in and back. And breathe. Breathe into the lengthening of the fascia. Stay long through the crown of your head, from your tailbone all the way up. Keep that activation through the head of the thigh bones, drawing the belly in and back. Stay with your breath and allow your body to show you where it is, what it's doing, how it feels, where it's going. Breathe into the sensations as they arise, staying active through the legs, the belly, with intention. Actually, maybe reflecting on whatever the intention was for your practice today. And then taking a few breaths wherever you are. Take another breath in and lengthen to come back up. Really nice. You can release your strap and just take a few moments here in Dandasana, being with whatever's going on inside the inner body. Soft jaw, soft shoulders. And then keeping your block, you can release the strap. Come onto your back. Stay close with your block. We'll develop a relationship with our block. And come onto your back. We'll practice bridge pose. Another bit of core work and work for the back. Once you arrive on your back, draw your shoulder blades under you and place your feet just a couple inches away from your sits bones. In my body, if I reach my arms along the side body, I can bring my heels just to brush the tips of my fingertips. And then from there, you can bring your elbows into your sides and come into robot arms, lifting your upper body so your shoulder blades drop more underneath you. Firm into your feet, all four corners of both feet. Really feel the soles of your feet on the mat. They're going to be your foundation for your pose. Making sure your knees and legs are hip-width distance apart. And doing your best to keep your legs from splaying out. And if you want, you can place that block right in between your legs. That can be a good idea. And then from here, lifting the hips right up to the sky, you can walk your shoulder blades a little more under you. Keep your elbows pressing into the mat, fingertips raised to the sky, or draw your arms under you and intertwine your fingers. Once you've found your way down, make sure you're not pressing into your neck and that the cervical spine is lifted. Lift your chest and send the energy out your knees as you lift your hips. We'll breathe here, a couple cycles of breath. So only the back of the head, shoulders, arms, feet are on the mat, not the neck. Take a breath in, release your hands and lower down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthening through the lower back as your hips reach the mat. Beautiful. And then taking that block, we'll come to supported bridge pose. And you can place the block on the first or the second setting, either of those two. And again, keeping your knees oriented so they're hip width distance apart, not splaying out. Please lift your hips and set the block right under your sacrum. Make sure you feel stable and draw the shoulder blades under your back. And feel the pose. Supported bridge. Letting all that circulation flow towards the heart and the brain. Notice your knees, make sure they're not hanging out, but staying nice and aligned. You can help that by pressing into all four corners of both feet, staying active through the feet. And relax your shoulders, your neck and your jaw. Stay with your breath. And as you breathe here in this supported, somewhat restorative pose, perhaps you begin to feel the sensation of gravity and weight through your back body as your hips are resting on the block. And again, you can stay right here, or if it feels good in your body, lift one leg at a time, making sure to remain stable on that block, and you can come into supported shoulder stand. Keep the legs active, maybe 30% active, reaching out through the toes. And you have options here. You can take the legs out wide if that feels good for you in your practice today. If you do, please hug the muscles to the bones in the legs so you keep your ligaments safe and protected. Keep the feet actively dorsiflexed if you're taking your legs out wide. You truly want to protect your ligamentation. We don't want injuries. We want strength. We want to feel good in our bodies. And you can come in and out, leaving your legs to the sky, or perhaps you'd prefer to stay in bridge. Whatever your preference is, please remain aligned. Couple more breaths. Wherever you are, begin to orient towards bringing your legs back up towards the sky. And take a breath in, and as you exhale, slowly lower your feet to the mat, doing your best to bring your feet and ankles right under the knees. Hip width distance apart, second toe facing away from you best you're able. And then pressing into all four corners of those feet, take a breath in to lift your hips up, scoot the block out, and lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthening through the lower back as you find your way down onto the mat. Once you've reached the mat, stay long through the tailbone, draw the lower back towards the earth, and then draw the knees one at a time in towards your chest, Apanasana. Flex the feet. And let those knees find their way down, the knees and the thigh bones. Soften through the shoulders, the jaw and the face. And then place your hands on your knees and circle them. Big circles and small circles. And then go both directions. And finally coming to a still point, lower your feet to the mat. We'll take a twist, sending the arms out to either side. Send your right knee over your left. And then heel toe your left foot to the left. Lift your hips to the left and send your knees to the right. And take a nice breath into the right armpit, or maybe it's the left. The opposite side your knees are going. See what being ungrounded is like? Breathe into that armpit. And send the breath all the way down the side body and out the knees. Feel the energy release and flow. If it feels good, look over towards your arm, the other side of your knees. Take a breath in. Draw the belly in. Send the arms towards the earth. And with the strength of your legs, lift them up. Uncross. Place your feet on the mat and lift your hips back to center. Let's take the other side. So the other foot crosses over, the other knee crosses over, that foot, heel toes to the other side of the mat. Lift your hips to that side and send your knees over, looking towards the hand if that feels good. And again, invite the breath into the armpit. And send the breath as you exhale all the way down and out the knee. Feel the release of the energy as you breathe. And again, orienting towards coming out of the pose. Press your arms into the earth, draw the belly in, take a breath in and lift the knees up. Uncross, press into the soles of your feet and lift the hips back to center. One more Apanasana, draw the knees in. Hug those knees, lift your head towards them if that feels good in your practice. Inhale. Exhale. Find your way into Shavasana. Stretch out. Make room for your legs and your arms to extend. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, send the breath all the way down and out the soles of your feet like a wave of breath moving through your body. Take another deep breath in. And again, let it go like a flowing wave all the way down and out the soles of your feet. And then relax. Relax your toes, the soles of your feet. Relax your ankles and the tops of your feet. Relax your calves and your shins. Fronts and backs of your knees. Your thighs. Relax your groins and your hips. Your entire pelvic bowl. Let all the abdominal organs come to rest in your back body. Soften your tailbone, your sacrum, and every vertebra all the way up the spine to the base of your skull. And then soften your collarbones, your shoulder blades, and all the bones of the arms. Relax your thumbs and fingers and hands. Your neck and throat. And all the bones of your face and skull. Feel all the bones of your body growing heavy, the muscles letting go, the skin melting, let your brain grow so heavy It rests in the back of your skull. Feel yourself as you sink down into your mat. And let go. And begin to feel the breath in the body. The sweet, soft rise and fall of your chest and belly. With each breath that breathes you. The rise and the fall. The expansion and contraction. Pulsating through your body. And begin to notice your fingertips and toe tips and rubbing your fingertips against your thumbprint. Just beginning to feel into the subtleties of the body, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, rotating wrists and ankles. Take a nice stretch. Breathing in as you lengthen the arms, point the toes, and then take a breath out, let it go. And taking any movement that might feel good in your body. And then roll to one side. Couple of breaths there before pressing up and finding your way back to your seat. Or you can join me, bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra right in front of your heart. And take a moment, close your eyes and feel into your inner body. with gratitude. Moment of gratitude for one another, and gratitude for all those who have gone before, all those who have gone before, so many, multitudes of varying beings, making it possible for us to be here right now in this miraculous experience of embodiment and life. We are so blessed to have this life, to enjoy it, experience, and share it. Let's send some love out. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be loving and kind. And may all beings everywhere live with ease and grace all the days of their lives. We'll close with one Om. Take a deep breath and we'll begin. Om. Thank you so much for your practice. Stay healthy, stay strong. See you next time. Namaste.